Joe Ebusuafo me Mama Kwaba about the Law Lab YouTube channel. Here we dissect and unpack everything legal. Makacha said this year no, if you are domo ekwadomo from grace to grace, yekoyenim. Mediani Aaron Asiedu entry. Today we have a conversation with a fine gentleman, a member of parliament, a former deputy minister. But before I proceed and introduce him, I would implore you to like, share, subscribe, comment, tell a friend to tell another friend that the Law Lab is on with another exciting conversation. This video is proudly sponsored by LifeMate Furniture Company Limited. They are located at North Kaneshi, Chemanifa, Edia. Okwa, kunye biya opebia, no na MPBA yusu, no na ministers wafo biya yusu, to the opebia no betimako, na odebema ofufo, they are affordable and also durable. And then nipa yenyana, yenene babidi nkoma ye babidi no, very critical to our social development as people. Pursuant to the past administration, that is the Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, we saw a lot of members of parliament coming together to introduce a private member bill on the family values. I think it is against LGBTQIA+++. And he was one person who came out of the majority then, now minority. Though a deputy minister of state at the education ministry, he stood out to join the private members bill on the family values against LGBTQ. Today we'll be looking at that. But before that, I think it is his third time in parliament and now serving as the ranking member on the defense committee. We'll start with some preliminary matters on security before we enter into the LGBTQ. Ladies and gentlemen, today I am very privileged to sit with the Honorable Rev Ntim Fordjour, Member of Parliament for the good people of Asin South and former Deputy Minister for Education. Honorable Akwaba.
Yeah.
Had a law lab, yes, here dissect and I unpack everything legal.
Sir.
But one guy said they own the sign from power to opposition. Who goes to your fedo who you call
Alampan, that's it.
And then the one will be there.
No, and one lady.
Okay.
Alampan, Obajuma.
Sure.
A babro from the Aaron, a different.
Sure.
And so you do Mia Alampan, a different. Memo Abaso, I know production team, our law lab, so the what media page more topical issues like that Ghana for Akumaso and now we are a far expert in resource persons are more than 1% more, and I predict that our platform we law lab no is going to go very high. It's going to go places.
So much.
It's soon going to be one of the highly subscribed and the go-to place for information.
Thank you
and
so much. Honorable, today we are privileged to have you.
Good.
In fact, ranking member on the Defense Committee of Ghana's 9th Parliament. There are issues. I want us to tackle the preliminary security issues before we look at LGBTQ. There are issues that are being topical. One, yetikroma yese container, any nine, an insa, a toira. We are a person the shake up in the military. And also we will look at some of the fire outbreaks. So these containers, Abedu Port, I think say, aside energy committee of which they will be interested in the matter, it should be of high concern to you as a ranking member. How is Parliament helping us as an oversight body over the executive to bring about checks and balance? Because this country, all I hear is that may contain a twira. It is quite skeptic. Good.
Where they make your phone now. Now, in fact, Aaron, say containers are any turbine. 3,000 of them at the back room. Now are buying through ECG at Tuaka. Near Tuaka, we they call handing over note more transition team. Minister now big Jina appointment committee and Nimukrano. He made reference to it. Say containers 3,000 be a reporter young clay. Actually, Unya Quenya no be minister beswe ina. Or may come in here say we are feeding 3,000 and Swatiko 2,500. You no problem. For 2,500 and so bra na ECG for avenue umujuma transformer say wom high tension cable say wom the DB babetwe electricity akon crashing a wom the meters near then I can't logistics ahodo I feel there's 2,500 no. So I take 1,004. 1,004 so far brasi ayira. Na sa asem we hin ne ka no.
Honorable, your team, we took time to look at the issue. These containers were procured under the MPP.
Sir.
Now, one say the procurement budget of the ECG under your government, they procured over their budget. I know the one can once, but the idea they
I know what if it is over their budget. I know it is for them to deal with it.
Okay.
That's what I say.
But then on
if it is anything that is criminal, be idea. I don't know if I want a political color. Me is also.
Okay.
Yes, me my buying also no. Nyoma of course so many are buying a drink. So I would say menka. I stood up. And you know, obi so bamba so the engine no enye.
But I want to begin from all.
Yes, participating for say the Jawa near their swab.
No correct.
So say the Minister for Energy now. Sabre no kwaku bi sasasem over here. ECGMD now kwaku bi sasasem over here. And to one more about be so no. It is their responsibility. So they say, we shouldn't hold Minister for Energy, Jinapo accountable.
I'm not saying that.
Now, sir, you hold the ECG, MD also accountable. Why they are the ones who have to hold out every other person or more fee say or ye culpable. A woman and a bit to me, a woman or master dear. Sir, there be a container and it will be a some people in a ton. They should bring the containers, jail that person, prosecute that person. Sir, it is their duty to conduct investigation and bring the people, and that is the concern of the ordinary Ghanaian. Ghana any day, and found also MPP and a toy and answer this in a toy. They hear woman say, why in the real toy? Why in a man in Tabine to coy? Yeah, you can't. Minister for Energy, my whole video be and is all match India for, match China for. It is sabi selekeke. China ni India. One with China maybe or yeah more ECG. One with China maybe or yeah more Ministry of Energy.
But how honorable?
May come back. Okay. One with China maybe and as India maybe or yeah Juma or Ministry of Energy and as ECG. Into the balance like China ni no Chinese maybe or yeah more port. Ghana Port and Harbours Authority, customs for no. Some China need be a custom officer, and India need be a custom officer. They will be the China need be enya, na India need be enya. Before this, India need crab abetujano. Now, what Bogana need na or ton container nema. No aboding. We see this politics of Yanfa Bibi answer Sabia ho. Na one more a year near Mudi nyano. Kata almost no. It must be a thing of the past. And just somebody like I say Jakpa commando Jakpa. I'll pump manitio at the bullet teaching at the way with a man for fear. Anyway, and here. So but manitio no. At the storm port hole. At the aquaculture system Nimu say. In this logistic there's a portal. Be beer on a platform. Be beer on a coat. They free here by a bedroom port hole. Na LCG for Tiaka and no crime must be investigated. I dare buy a Mosanka and Tiaka. It's financial loss. And no actually na Sabi and Wakasa Hughes be any assay. Na and Atabambia any I read room. Na a beg you free port hole. You should track it. What are the CCTV cameras? Look into it. Cars are trucks are better the core, you know. Omuni car numbers. So this is the time as a busybody commando Japa. Oh yeah, the master of race.
You are personalizing.
No, I have to. This when they hear. So Pumani to know Pumani real man for fear. We in a so Pumani port ho. Echo investigate. No bringing perpetrators to book. I am telling you, sir. This scandal no. And this is 4 year then cry since the son say a being see that. Say a ben biaba na baboon konta efa containers one say a 2 year and containers a wide group. And you know. So, Minister Jinapo, and investigation within the next 2 months. And for one more, a ton our containers, no, and Mamma Tuga, and me uncle Jets our containers in back, but beyond this can CBI retrieval back for ECGR. Or known as a holding responsible.
Minister, wow, in fact, honorable is a former minister, but once a minister is always a minister. But wow, Casano, also within the next 2 months. But me and say the minister has been to Parliament, has assured Parliament, say he will make sure he gets to the latter of this. Wow, Kassan, o me as a minister, me who say, Ibia could di China for her, Ibia could di. Is it not a step in the right direction? Say, kakra, or me,
kakra.
Oh, you show
Idea 40. Idea 3,000. I feel it was 2,500. I feel it was 1,004. The numbers are even inconsistent. Be that as it means, almost 1,004. 1,004 naira. Now, confirm 40. I am say, ma.
There be say a step by step.
And the 40 no
one 2 months. Now within even a
very
day
well.
Or 2 40.
Very well.
Finance all the 40 is at time in
the many abrene say.
Sorry.
When it's not about NDC MPP. Crime is crime. And you know, me and you know politics as usual.
Okay.
Near fine MPP and is a MPP. Better answer as simple for about be boom now we cramp the referee. That is why I'm saying say me any Ghana me any you hold minister not responsible. Because you are only responsible. You are the naira you 40 Obanzo who 50 who 50 we ya. That's simple for about be boom. No be a cry referee. Nobody will ask about it again. It shouldn't be like that. And you know, yes, some first scandal, yeah, they haven't started well at all. NDC, they have not started on a good note. ECG.
That should be the judgment of Ghanaians.
Yes, and the jury out there. This is the time I go. Mom saw one light in the mouth. They want their lights on. ECG mom saw light. I'm to me so doom so head. Yes, see, oye ne diaba a doom market.
There be.
I say a doom. That's a container sense so ayra.
Honorable.
Now as a buyer, my baby so one. Mobile shares customer ECG. Man to ni na light no aye on. Enya ne hiamo. Container so ayra. Mo hwehwe mra say 40 ne ehu. 40 ne so why the turn dey mind dia for na. India ni wan koto amfro bi ho. Until why are they protecting those people?
The minister has given an assurance he will get every perpetrator.
No, why are they?
Why Kasawoma say within the next 2 months? Should we stay within the 2 months? For it.
Wrong.
Sure.
We are talking about over $700 million. Falco Tidisimu, now heard the number of billions of billions are. I call Binimu Mudia Sen. One brother fire service for here just 1 billion. They are toll retooling, fire tenders, rapid intervention vehicles, any accessories are a bed boy message to baby. I want to me as one on 21. Umunya says cano. And so no, says $700 million and the NDC no containers and wings at to baby. Containers and red.
Yen fair non Saturday, baby. Then move on to the next issue. O Kasano, O Mayati say a doom blue light PZ. Jana abahono, Jana Ashehwa, a DNA abano, a freedom so, Sana Walker. As ranking member on the Defense Committee, do you have report to that effect?
Yes.
And I say you have report to that effect, you doom so.
Yes, Aaron. The attorney said, a decan, a doom a Jana Sayan. The Dinivian Hokai, Maniaco. The Chiman Jana Sayan.
Yes,
there need be a car in the Hokai, Maniaco. Cantamanto, and say more Moyako. Sanso, and I can wood massin so. Explosion see once, Yamo Moyako.
Okay.
Now, a summer a near Yapa. Now, share over 6,000 traders, a doom quandian, 6,000 traders or Mohaka, or Muja Trig Nashe, be crack of Bob, Bissian, a big crack of J, Bissian or Bank, or more dances to a barbeton, a big crown of Kufrid in your man, or a ton via or Kakutia, Sabri, that's why I say. Nasa, Sabi, light to prepare, on off, Asia, near Kanwa, they deserve to complain. Sabia, before a statement and a talk on the floor of Parliament, the member of Parliament for Sobey, Honorable Lawyer Obriya Boa, Edebetu Speaker referred the Army Committee, Defense and Interior, say a local government committee jointly, no, Janyam Shushimu Emma Emfa recommendation Metojan. Near traders now, one kindly biakasa. So when traders now, one just say one source, no, a mood 10, Ekasa, 8. A point to say, a doom son, I say, or more.
A traders in a catcher, the security agencies have finished you.
Security agency, or money, soft one at all. And to Nipana, as a service, no, Nyamba chance, I'm coming. Sometimes when these initial reports come, it doesn't prejudice our investigation.
Okay.
But you must also not discount it. Because as I've been free, just the catchers, a denchem, I won't see anymore. We will go to ascertain whether what they are alleging is true or not.
So the preliminary report,
until we prove otherwise, ECG should not be quick to come and say, "Oh, and no." They should be quick. They should not be quick to come and say.
ECG has not come out.
The ECG has debunked it. Yes,
they have debunked.
Oh yes, I'm saying yes, and I make us a too premature.
Okay,
because we do 8 out of 10 be an umbekasa be say doom so. Now what 30 years, 40 years, 20 years, 15 years. There was the one child or 10 years. And what 2 years. And this is now this will not say doom so. Now say doom so. Yempe security officer be or 10 crying. Doom or no American na ECG ni be or not in the head office. I win him the coso doom on the no be carrying the into my you. But the can say a jana ashieno. I will say so many factors. But National Fire Service for say about Mabaso. Because they are one agency Ghana will be a sorry the open or catch them, including Ashanti Regional Minister. A bread jano Asia Fire Service for the Nibrene Peppa Edum Jano. Not or the TikTok camera siniso. And what did they call for Panuatem?
Honorable. Fire Service for Nkasa Aparacho.
No,
but would you agree with me?
No, I'll come to
the fire service officer talking back at the minister is wrong.
Talking back the same.
Or trade minister, they say what he did was wrong. How he spoke to the minister is wrong.
How did he speak?
Because if you're a minister,
maybe how did he speak?
No, he was actually on TV telling us, I think it was GH1, mentioning that the minister shouldn't have gone to that route by shouting at them here and there.
So, Okansana, how is that arrogant? No,
but you don't talk back at your master. You agree with that?
No, see,
you don't talk back
culture,
at your master.
No, it's not about talking back. That culture said, when you penny, penny dibim, no.
This is a minister.
And I make another minister a penny. So when you penny, penny dibim, no. And no, in Africa, and near name. And not Africa. Did you see the video?
I've seen the video.
No, not that one. Did you see video on the site? Janet Erto, not the regional minister, no,
I saw a minister distressed questioning, say, are they in a fire hydrant to say they in Siwa?
Do you know why? Do you know why? Because he, as a regional minister, now a researcher in the crown, he's not well informed. And that is the point I am making, say. Many people in this country,
he's not well informed.
Yes, he's not well informed. They misunderstand the work of fire service. Alampa, once the fire service tend like a CFA, say a ja eto baby. Now say only be siwa within 3 minutes, and so won't be assessor. Are you aware?
I'm not aware.
Yes, and the minister didn't know. Sir, ensure no the quantum fire tender. CFA, not even rapid intervention vehicle. Your friend saying. Pick up no kese pa no se jato baby na so mo de besi ho na wo mo abonsuo ma na so mo plogo na wo mo start combat extinguish fire na within 3 to 5 minutes essence wo mo bia esa but onya we enti no se ensio no
only a minister.
Yes, maybe enti se ensio no esa wo tank ni mu a onti ase se tender no esi ho na ensio nim no obi so ho sa ade na mo fa ensio nguso no more case ensue na wo mu nasa onti ase kra asa na den ensue wo tender ni mu no asa see, let me tell you what it means. The operation of fire service ensue na wo tender ni mu the bar, it is just for the initial first few minutes ebesa 2-3 minutes enya sanwe ya no fire hydrant na wo close by no and no na fire service for no wo plug wo hose no di shemu na water reservoir no wo twi ensue di film e di dum ja no. That is how it works. Now, the work is not the work of fire service to maintain fire hydrants. And for instance, say fire service edru dwom and answer residential area baby jato ho. Na so fire hydrant na wo ho no sasaya na anu nti wo ma nya nsuo amfa num ja na enye wo mo na say blame wo. Ghana Water Company because water bill bia ubetua no 1% of it Ghana Water Company ho say wo mo emfa fire hydrant. It is matter of legislation. Wo mo gigi sa to one. And sa to one wo mo je no. E mu say no mo dey fire service. Nothing. It is their job. And you know say wo mo ba site no na ensuo no sa free tender ni wo no. Now, say they were having some difficulty trying to get water from some of the fire hydrants. You don't blame them. The officer was even trying to open some patch of paper, say, may explain. So don't explain anything. Didn't you hear that person? He was only trying to explain to some Kunya Tempo and a Kuti Noah. And Kobetia says, sir, no, a bomb sempa 2-3 minutes there. In any case, Sankomo consent or Kranas in Siumpo, any one more tank ni mu attend ni mu krana. Because 2-3 minutes a day, the must about 1 hour or 2 hour, 3 hour supply of water. No? It is the fire hydrant. That is where we need to have a conversation. When you say Techimandi, one no now maybe a fire hydrant no. Kwabrane, so one video no. Kwabrane so. Let's store so and the concrete as some so up to tiles also for 50 years. And you know say when that's a fire service need do no one to me and tapons you and fair no na. Now original minister o kwa kodi di omatem a order the arrest say omo piaro yes wo church mu a hey why bone and you know they only wrote that letter just to manage the ego of the egoistic original minister.
No, but he's been transferred. The gentleman has been transferred to
and I even condemn that transfer. Because when you say Odumase incident is here, explosion is here, fire service for more cause or more kodum jam. Sa stop being so benwa, omunim se sana sa dynamite and do explode a parawum at a tiwum Emma a bit at the hospital. So they are fighting for their lives. So the degree of injury was human being. We need to find some workman compensation for them. That is the kind of dangers fire service officers go through. And you know, the least regional ministers can do is to resource the Ghana National Fire Service and not to be ordering their transfers and termination because of somebody's ego.
You are so much on the minister.
I'm so much on the minister because ministers will come and go. But
just fire service, you were and you are.
I have been a minister before, okay. And when you friends saying, "Akonya now be minister," you must be humble. Sabe, me be a deputy minister. I tell my school be, my baby, oye ne BSc, me call ye, me them in teacher force. Some of them can give birth to me. So I just say, some of them can give birth to, you know, the fact that waba be minister na interest, wo ye ni personal wo mtino, kwasa anyhow chere. They only wrote that letter to him just to manage because he's a stakeholder. They will keep working just to let sleeping dogs lie. It was a mature step they took. And that should end there. I don't expect to see further disciplinary action now. Because a bit damping the morale of National Fire Service. We don't want to dampen their morale. They should rather abide with it. They should resource them rather than dampening their morale.
I think your point is well made. And I think, I believe it needs a national conversation, a whole holistic conversation on how they are being retooled. Because I know Obi Oye NDC, so because what buying was no, much just 1% in Ghana water are there now.
No, politics.
So we need a national conversation.
Ghana Water Company is a company on its own.
But the president appoints the CEO.
Yeah, but whoever is appointed there, whether you are NDC or MPP, you take that revenue.
Sure.
And so we should hold people accountable. Politics should not, whether you are MPP or NDC, you should not be absolved from responsibility. And national service, if you take 15 years, National Fire Service, Fire Service for no. If you take 15 years, budget here, they are more MPP, NDC, and so we should have a national conversation on that.
Okay.
They need $1 billion to retool. So this is not a political conversation. This is public safety conversation because Ejano to obi demo that's a shit about the SWA. He doesn't have any respect for NDC property or MPP property.
That's right.
And as a top store be more and see NDC need MPP need.
But sure be
and until I say that nationalistic conversation about resourcing the national. When you say the fire tender, to me the hydraulic platform type of fire tender. So a jato a dime be a bansoro 4th floor, 5th floor. They bet to me a pajamu aquacodumo. It will only 3 pay over the whole of the country.
Well, until I make a hand down crab a passing.
So I just say, until we have only 3.
Okay.
And now a lot of the other ones winning in our crowds. Most of them are overage.
Okay.
Let's resource them. Now you encourage them. Ninya is a minister. order you
are so much on that.
It's very arrogant. He's a young man. He should be humble.
Ranking. Last on security matters before we deal with the LGBTQ++. The point is, one time me work class and your lecture in Timamba 4 to 6 p.m. Because law school you do 7 a.m. to 9, 9 to 11, 11 to 1, you break 2 to 4, 4 to 6, 6 to 8. Timinya that free period na me de ko 2 ekosi say. Me de 2 ekosi say me nko ha ona wote sui. Na wo kasa wani abre say there is a shake up in the military enye here and there wakasa. But here you read parliamentary unka. What has happened in the military?
Even that in Akramika side.
Oh, okay. Yes. Military. What has happened in the military? I say, what is it?
Yes, maybe man in Anchichimo. But just before them, I mean, we say on the fire incident, no, me to toss by a doom market, one who can 6,000 of them. Also, near more normal pay. Young one normal pay, one cassa. Me mum dey me condemn most I feel better 10 youth now. One more embarrassing minister for interior, one more embarrassing or bro dey mo koma won. E wo say nye mo ene angwa no mu hia. But mpeni say oji wia no adas so adas bi mra biu. Enti ka mo no ba ye no nye no na mu hia. Banka oje no adas say minister the dance na mo nye mu ne hia. To dey agi ye das bi mra.
What politics?
And you know those boys, no, they have to apologize to the minister.
Okay.
Yes.
They must apologize. Leadership actually letter the communicate about to apologize.
And pass over to Sana Mon. And no be boama de me to me every then I may. Now appear a bra explosives share whole community no. A buying sorry 2023 anymore. For philanthropists, they could see the whole community put them back in their livelihoods. They can't be near Kokubiano. And now a new train, so you can't be sure one, it is a modern spirit. And so, in Sunaka far from Ntim, Mefene, not on side home, after woman's food, yes, woman's schools, woman dining, and they call me, I'm Mikoya or Momoa. Aban eboa aban mo de bo nyina akire no yes sign afie budget here that way aban apeja 242 million cedis say they fan ko boa the victims of the Akusu modern spirit in Volta region
fantastic budget era
2025 day
okay
and then they be pass appropriation ni and as in Friday so that depending on when the obia ocean or will show no be Friday 28 March. And 27th or 20.
Today is 28.
Yes, 28 March. And they pass appropriation, you know. And they are passing we pay. They about the time 242 million out of it. And they are come one of more kind of Volta region to support them. And once I buy some pija another 200 million say Keta and get you south tidal wave next year. There's some for 200 million and co support the victims. I support those benevolence. Say you know from man to mo aka. Na ye pony taxpayers money
from me pay to Kita.
Ya dey me pay for ne Kita ne voter so mo na voter region. Ya dey eboa won. Me fo aso.
Ye fa same energies
me fo aso.
Okay.
The said ye koya e ma piate in western region. Me fo aso. Na mo in the same principle no.
Ye bi ma
the people of Edum, the 6,000 traders in Edum in Ashanti region, they are equally deserving of government support.
Said ye MPP ma piate. Ye bi ma me pay. Ma NDC for the Kita no. Sa ni emfama Edum for.
Until me can say the state because what can NDC MPP because we go politics.
Yes, so
me see the state. I bind the state. And you know the same way I demonstrate, you know, the people of Techiman, they are also Ghanaians. They are deserving of taxpayer support and government support. Yanko boa kono do massive wo. Do massive. Yes, sir. Won so hiamwa. E bi mo prepare, bi mo wu. E bi mo da asay asho stores all their livelihoods gone. Counterman to obi ko free nyoma na oton wi a wakakotua. Ni nyina so hye. Enti no sa yenuanu mo ho aka nyina. It's not a tribal call, it's not an ethnic advocacy because we call Eduma all kinds of tribes. Oko yeah, Techima, all kinds of ethnic groups, countermand to the all nations. It's not a tribal thing, but the Americans say the state has demonstrated in Apiati. We have demonstrated in Mefe and Norton. We have demonstrated in Teketusa. And we are demonstrated in water region. Yen demonstrated in Ashanti region. Yen demonstrated in Watachima. Yen demonstrated in Kantamanto. Because we come in 200 and 240 Boma. It's almost 500 million cities. And you have time they call one region. And they have boa or more kai. And then you to me time and equally 500 million. And from in almost other regions. And as one of the major recommendations we were going to give, a big one is a good budget, media budget review. Almost just emergency fund. Now, my bio security question is one. Me second, a trafania fa. And one to make, but IGP make a side. In fact, from Chief Fire Officer, Director General of Prisons, Controller General mechanic in our WhatsApp. And the point I made is this. So main I'm here president. And ka obi a meba beto no bia say the pension time and so na ebra else odidi wie no so ya. Eso what one so adwuma.
Sana we
that was what because you see in the tenet of
obedi ranking we hu an
that has been my position in the tenet of good governance I will say to me and I will soon be moving private members bill to that effect. Sir, Yabema security of China, Amma security heads. Because the Ayama special prosecutor, Ayama chief justice, Ayama chairperson of electoral commission. And no ye or more free the discretionary power of the president. Sir President Abebano, Obana Beton IGP. So ne was one more modern, so one more pamano. Nafa for narcotic control, permanent immigration, permanent way, pam. Even chief of defense staff of the Ghana Armed Forces, permanent nafa for Fronya. When we legislate, not be right constitution, a bayam mara, and no president be aba obey this so. And also the professionalism from Kubi about the pager within the security agencies. And just say, "Won't alarm pine about IGP." When him say your loyalty is not to MPP or NDC, even though we kukrumuti our name baby ato abakodi, but we say we uniform now. It is not about your political party. It's about president now. What is one? This one no free. So now from so bad. What to man one to a man? Your loyalty is to that new president, and you align your operations to the vision of the president and fully cooperate with them. They make us what you say.
Me tell you, but honorable, me question is what kind case case to for an attorney general. You share the spirit and letter of the constitution. You share near my mind ya firm. Na inform me am yet to an amobi. Yenim kuku abesiso. And you want to go on this private member bill to the extent that the security of the minimum penny, Mammy choose me CDS. Oh, let me my example, IGP. No. It was one of the low moments of this country. Why am I saying this? Police officers bo suluku. Soloku to the extent say police officer me try my police ni bia kochi obi say otutuska egune against the law ebi tuska good the IGP so which was quite the new IGP which I was so much surprised
and I'm coming there.
If such person is still there and you are saying that we should continue his tenure, I will free one Kofu Soloku. You think it will be in the best interest of the new president?
I will even come there. So they may kind of say once you introduce that legislation, it will bring the checks in on both sides, the president and then the security chiefs. They make us what you say.
Really?
It will remove. There are many countries, but they been to me more or more. Even their army crown. So government for Froba won't to me. They will be to assistant minister for defense and the deputy minister for defense, and in those countries, chief director, the political and the friends civil service side. And but
that is how they have practiced so far.
Maybe. But won't to me found some uniform person. So to me, I could do top one. Won't to me found some and that system, non America say, and non a bois, and non a so man. We have come from somewhere. We have come from coup, and after coup, no, in our fourth republic, yeah, to me, we are over 32 years. I got 33 years. Yeah, we've had about 5 turnovers. And the year anymore, as I know, maybe so, yeah, just you know, yes, son. Now, the other thing to do with it is that IGP, just son, maybe I say, if Senka Kamia, we should let all of them run. But until that legislation will come, the status quo is that President Bia, when the prerogative say, obeses the security chiefs.
Prerogative.
Yes, and why exercising was a sound. In the case of the IGP, also son, no, also all funny power from one question, ni deputy none of farm.
And a disolukubai.
Maybe, and you know what funny deputy no? Why should I criticize the president? I won't criticize the president because one kwanko fa ACPB, one pa commissioners of police for one pa deputy IGP home, and one pa commissioners of police and one kwanko fa DCOPB and I say ACPB. Maybe some say and then deputy IGP na one pa deputy IGP is also want to win adwuma. Now after all the commissioners of police want to win your money adwuma. DCOPC na also want to win your money adwuma. ACP na kofa. On say oh yeah said yes or yenti no. Man ka ho asem bebre. But me concern say ye na jubilation AC or head office no. To be honest, one thing is that the men and officers are happy say Dr. Kufu Dampare na Mr. Christian Teteyomunu and Eba. And you know, it's a good thing and that is, we should clap for President Mahama. It could also mean to say, no man discipline yeah, Juman, till a man will be in Penisa. And you know, it's like freedom and independence for them, which is also dangerous. But be that as it may, and so they are baby. But the unprofessional conduct, as we saw in the display, it must be investigated. I have filed an instrumental, a demand one investigation. Now the people among the form uniform people, from education, every unprofessional conduct in that video, it should be investigated and sanctioned in accordance with the standards of the Ghana Police Service. I know I have taken steps but that said, we wish Dr. Dampare, Manaiku, Dura Kunya, Mako for Transuda, and will be so bad. Oh, to me, Mayina, as a Nipa baby, or Mayina, Ebiano Obe on the scene to be. But Obeyanso no know the transformation be ye ya na door so pa. She said they was sanitizing head office for. She said there was some police visibility, crime rate, akọ form ne ade nyina no. Enti no se nipa sa akwa ye mprapra na chi. Ye danase no kwa se nka bibi foforo bi mpo ho ana ka dia man bi ambassador bi ana na ka dia man ase na nyonyam. Na foforo no so aba. Oba ya na nyina so. Ya san support to new one no. Whether you end this MPP. Yeah, support to new IGP so that he also succeeds. Because what succeed here, Ghana, Bambo, and I succeeded. Now, the other agencies needed, the Amati said, no fairness, immigration, fire service, and then prisons needed. Now, paying for a down on one retirement to Breno, Asso. The MSN and Kranaka crabby, and to know Nelson Sissa, Eba. And you know, all can saying, want to be criticized until say we change the constitution. So we wish one more every econ. Yeah, more you could almost sepa modern more in their various fields are more prisons, immigration, and the fire service. And the new ones are banning so. Yeah, my one more friends and Trinkwa. Yeah, congratulate you one. Yeah, I sure say you know we will support them to succeed. Now not than China. Obano, Chief of Defense Staff. President Kufuor Bai also signed Chief of Defense Staff. And oh yes, such a bakumi no be pet. A free or not, generals are impending for better or more. President Rollins and the file one young Yajima of him said, one more required every. As a matter of fact, 2005, Ugugula to come 2005. And our President Kufuor, so I've been 5 years in his office. And I appointed Major General JB Dankwa. And I know that man penny for a crabby or any and a coffee. Because onya fa obi a junior to an officer, a senior general, automatically now be a chief of defense staffer. The seniors are one and no apamo.
Nti Kufuor yibi.
Nti Kufuor de no ye. It was Major General JB Dankwa. No ye in 2005 when did Kufuor come to power?
2000.
So in between, so it means at least omo beto wo no you adwuma drum pempen so bi.
Te bia no hu aban dem to twa face ye de wie no hu ye.
2005 your first year.
There be say no amamu to be try the first time we try the first time we say
it is demonstration of good governance.
Okay.
So what you say it's on record 2005. Na sabre ne kra no na general sa mpenimfo a 2-star and above a Ghanaian force no me here.
But in the same contest Yera Mahama we be try the 4 years away. When we wakotena fie wotwe no asamba ono so sanga the second term nti ono ya was support
maybe there's a difference, there's a big difference.
Why?
And no crampo no there was just a few generals
just a few near the end.
Oh, just about 3 or so and na senior 2.
So the numbers is what you are determining.
The numbers count. Yeah, the numbers count in military command. Change, numbers count a lot because it has effect on morale. Now, and President Atama was also taking over. There was political pressure on him. Said, "On Pamu will be over two will be no fact junior ones need be powerful," but he resisted, and would take the national security advice, and or resisted political pressure. And also, more Akufo-Addo Omu President Akufo-Addo Omu Yejuma. Only Omu be so best Yejuma, and also sank a crabby. So also, the also sign appointed General Blade by the Chief of Defense Staff. No, and penny for a crabby now also a kind, just like minimal changes are President Akufo-Addo. And I did more. President Mahama, but first term no. Also, the first term no. But no, it wasn't much. It was just like in line with President Akufo-Addo, any president at Amos there also here. It would be so big a sign. Nobody talked about it. And now President Akufo-Addo also a baby, no, Chief of Defense Staff and also son, Air Marshal Samson OJ. Also son, no, son, Chief of Staff, Major General Adeti. Now our appointed new Chief of Staff, 2 pen also son. Our appointed Chief of Staff, no, Okofa. Chief of Army Staff, in other words, Army Commander, Major General Obed Boamakwa. President Mahama appointed no Army Commander. President Mahama appointed no Army Commander.
No be the Chief of Staff.
No promoting the Chief of Staff. Wankasa only President Mahama ya juma that mean to be no juma. No wangekasa na President Mahama Army Commander. Why should I work with you? So go home. But no promote too no. And even though he changed the incumbent, he promoted the senior most person at the time. Not only President Mahama Ayejuma. And we, the vacancy created here in Major General, in Army Commander, or he was why the most senior among them. The next most senior General Yamdo, one beside the political party, and one appoint you on also be Army Commander. Rather, no, Chief of Naval Staff, Sabine friend of Real Admiral. Peter Fedu, one fan Sankano. President Mahama appointed so better one fan Sankano. Only a Juma Copim 2019, the term of office no every year, 3 years no every year. And the Chief of Air Staff at the time, a friend of Air Vice Marshal Manchebite Nagai. Air Vice Marshal Manchebite Nagai. Or no, and also a man, a Trasia, the President Mahama appointed. One for instance, only a Juma the term of office go every year. And what is a coup d'etat be by? What is what many President Mahama generals by a Juma coup d'etat be by? They all aligned with him, supported his vision, and supported the state. Loyalty to the president, the new president, and the state. That is professionalism. So what I see. And Saha see the corner. And on a map Obia or Aminimu who said, and found baby out to a buffer. Once I hear a professional job, no. So president of for crab bar, there's someone or the Bema. August only way man to me, Mrs. Susa, MPP, and we end this me. Sa and I Senka, who by a chief of defense staff, who be na, and no way back me, no being pa, and Kawakano, you are such a yebi, Anka bear 5B and a 4B echo fee. Now the 4 baby. Would you buy out say, Nipa bear 15 to 20 grand when you're on. And they say no. Yes, ranks no, and I'm expansion into a pager me 4-star, 4-star, and 4-star no, your Chief of Defense Staff or be a full general, our 4-star general, and then the China be the 3-4, all the service command service chiefs in also, I be 3-star generals, lieutenant general and equivalents, and now one more the various commands in the brigades and all so no 2-star and equivalent, a major general and equivalent. And you know, so ba that's also want to mean 4-star in yajuma. Want to mean 3-star phone in yajuma. Want to mean 2-star phone in yajuma. Name a 1-star and I bet you in yajuma. Not just say one more a one any from 4-star to 2-star in our pamo automatic. And that is the danger in it. A man raising those concerns. Now at the time, now I'm raising the crown. Not by could be I know a proposal to say or may chief of staff. Or no crowd, you know, intake 34. Intake 34. Currently, I'm just the immediate past chief of staff. Or intake 26.
Okay.
Intake 26 and no more at 12 to 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. And but the chief of defense staff, Brigadier General, now say Wabe Major General William Japan. He is intake 30.
Okay.
Even though a 1-star.
So meaning 26 to 29 Kofi.
Oh, I'm condemn.
They say 30 now.
The minimum crown up to be 4 to 6 years before they retire.
But Ube Kofi.
I'm sure they will process it for them. I know the military fund they will do it.
That is worrying.
That is one. That's one of the things. But a man me claim I am home say one of the things and a woman say there was a brigadier general once intake 34. Obey brigadier general 1 year crown all seniors by 4 years. Women now say brigadier generals. And now more generals name so with the 1-star for an no problem. Name for some of the senior most among the 1-star for but 34 year 4-year junior year now sabia demoralize power and in raise me raise and when I got that year me did raise one now within a week and assistant by and we have new letter nearby no way major Brigadier General Asong and the call from Chief of Staff propose your staff as acting. No way you know the neko customs.
Okay.
And no more far will be fulfilled. Vice Marshal Minister Lakai. Or no, it brought calm. That appointment it brought a lot of calm in the rank among the rank and file. Omoji tomb. And you know, I had to calm down because the Irish said Murano. Okay. Nemo yes support. Even though the error had been done and they have cut so deep, and the best support one, then we quickly recommended, quickly now the Ghana Armed Forces Council must be constituted for them to promote the newly appointed top brass to 2-star general. And also bass. Until later, if you follow the conversation, that was a trajectory. And you know, as opposition, you have to be constructive, you have to be responsible. You don't have to be unnecessarily attacking and criticizing the government, but do your research.
But you don't think that
and have a fighter. This is also pabeba. This is also in Sisaka Krabai. Say rank and file so makuma and Tomuye.
And also Chiresa Bino etiu.
Yes, but
so that is a listening government.
But not well in a way you can give that credit to them. Say as a ranking for defense and interior, may call on that trajectory. No? They met that demand halfway. So you have to give that to them. That's what I say.
Sure.
But that also shows that if you're in opposition, you don't have to go to sleep.
You have to criticize constructively.
Yes, if you go to sleep and you remember best say when you remember so no be any kasamafo. And you know, we are the mouthpiece of Omo to make kasa. So you do your research well and do your work well. And then it will yield results. One other thing, as defense and interior ranking, the investigation by council and many assembly to me breaking news or platform is
exclusive. The
intel I have picked indicates on the 20th of March this year, an airline, air med flight, just a medical, ambulance flight, and all. If no a and a found. The flight number is N823AM. N823AM. Landed Wokotoka International Airport from Gran Canaria. Island, was Spain, will be and Colombian powder, a ban cocaine, 100 years. It is very notorious for it. Any money laundering, any washing of money near them is notorious. That destination is notorious for these crimes. some flights need free or be landing here. A year air med flight. A be landing, you know. It's now the 5 days.
Oh my.
And on 25th of March, 1 a.m. Ahomache come 1 a.m. and a 2 free ha. A 2 free ha so no. A call straight to Gran Canaria. Now I know na me bisa say with this period no, all the records I have done from all the major hospitals no, it doesn't point to any offshore medical referral. Be a one say be yare very critical, you know. Just refer no fan call Gran Canaria for any surgery or treatment.
What is any pani receive home treatment and a doctor?
No, but so when a home treatment also there will be a medical referral because if you have to go on a flight on such an air med flight, you go with medical records.
Okay.
There is no such medical records of any patient who was flown that
Per your investigation.
Per the investigation I have done, and for 5 days we be gonna have 5 days. Until no say obi area e be gonna have train ma obi area so no de na eko. And all the area will be free on a buy. So they need to ascertain it because it cannot be coincidence. Because such air flights, they don't just fly like that.
Okay.
Now, two, and no actually no, and another private jet and so. This air flight is specially designed for patients and dead bodies.
You say they where do you could get to
now could get to
it's all no.
And say no, didn't you know on mean
on cars who need the
no, it's so comfortable that
now we minister now we minister now
it's so comfortable that you say airport what is will be
say on ebia on
and the catch is a BBC since one call investigation na sources so now one man information you know one activity no farmer to
activity body cameras.
He should tell us
okay
the same aviation information no nya no intel no and then away the one farmer to he has it and then one farmer to
now
there's another one, there's a second one. There's no the first Cavoc Air private jet. Cavoc Air private jet mami ma details no Antonov and 12B. That is the number. Antonov and 12B.
Yes,
but anybody some America.
Okay.
No many are
and also be
and also be see and also for the same suspicious destination.
Is it
Gran Canaria?
Gran Canaria.
Yes, a small island be a hold the new me cost war in Yangro.
Honorable work hold down a what?
Oh, dear, me can't want so much.
Okay.
And the free hop a buy. Me na men cast my code na draw conclusion and answer there. So I hold and the men comment it. And some cost hopper. Okay. The same private jets also be landed on the 12th of March.
Okay.
A be there for almost 3 weeks and also no echo back 25th of March.
There's a two boom.
Yes, the same day. 25th of March and only to 6:40 a.m.
Okay.
And you know, the question I'm asking is that are the authorities have they established why those two flights came in and what they brought in and what they took out? We need full details. We need full disclosure from national security. They should tell us. They say you have to say Enros Cape Coast cocaine $350 million. Cape Coast. Yes. Cocaine worth $350 million.
The new I cannot link it to the flight that came.
I'm not linking it to anything.
But that is why
because you can't. No, I'm not linking to anything because they may even be exclusive. Say, maybe we don't know. And that is why we need answers from them. But I'm telling you that some 350 million worth of cocaine has also been intercepted in Cape Coast. And this is for 3 months, depend on mobile when air cost. So we want answers. We don't want Ghana and impact for 2024-2025. Altiza Travel Group, Global Peace Index, they rank Ghana as the second most peaceful country in Africa on crime rates. Even globally, they rank us more favorably than Canada and Australia because of our crime rates are improved. And the officer said, "The plan is you enter on this within 3 months. And make sure you So we are concerned that our borders and our ports and our airports will not be, our national security, will not be used for such things like baby and nuances. And the authorities must investigate it. They know it. They know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
They must investigate it and give us feedback as to the state of these. What did they come to do? That meant Yari for Ben didn't buy. If no Ben didn't buy. We need the details. Yari for Ben before any free and didn't call because it is designed for patients. We don't have any records of any referrer. Okay. We need also buy empty any two empty. What to be that? Okay. And the be free Spain number as empty, and then the private jet. So these are the exclusive breaking news I'm putting on your show.
Put it out there for you.
Authorities must provide us answers.
Now, Honorable, to the biggest topic we want to treat with you, and this one we know that you are a sincere person and you have a very thorough conversation with us on it. LGBTQI+++. The point is, it started with the Honorable Sam George together with you and some few other MPs coming together with a family value, a private member bill in the form of Family Value Act, right? If I'm getting it right. Let me ask you, as Deputy Minister under former President Akufo-Addo, who under his regime did not sign that bill, were you chastised for joining the said MPs?
Now, let me put it this way. Me by Parliament 2017 January, and I started some advocacy. Say, your mra, your culture, any EGD, a far warrior home, any empama goodie home, a your bar, any bema. And your bema, your ban your bar. Your won't I bear my beman, I bear Yadiaku womb. Your won't I your bar, ban, I bear Yadiaku womb. On twin sorry, cast a video one, your bema. And so fees all your band, Oh, quack of bompania as a sound.
You'll be feelings from obey.
Feelings, no. And yet, no, and yet the chess, and yet feelings in the chess, and nipper way, or your way and us way. We say feelings in the can. And there was no evidence will be sorry, and also the feelings actually say, or no, or your wee smoker, the young uncle smoky. Or so on the feeling, they say, or your cocaine, dealer, in your uncle, the feelings or your murderer, in your uncle, for. That's why there's law. To check people's perversive feelings. Your feelings must be subjected to what the public consider to be decent. Feelings repugnant to the values, norms, and practices of your mind. But in the 1960, Criminal and Other Offences Act 1960, there's a section make a provision on natural canal knowledge.
Section 102 or 104.
Yeah, 102, 104, one of them.
Yes.
No, on natural canal, and as a law, no, between your pa. Yeah, bomb we're fine lawyer.
But that's
wrong. Well, may cry. I said, kutu. On natural canal knowledge. The only evidence you can get to establish prosecution is penetration. And to know one more lesbians, so how will you prosecute them?
But you see, in the case of Glige and Atiso, Justice Duche, H. I say, a cast a canal knowledge. A say, Bear Madinituya, say, the penis entering into the vagina, even be little, the tip beyond what we normally call brushwork, meaning brushwork in the but on a judge opinion or brushwork in a say. Samrano, ye did cases, baby, was what they say. If it is not this, then we have prohibited any other form. Say, Bema Kurana Sebi, we be a friend of Felashu, and then quote unquote, we are so for when him the FAB blue job. Bema a year canalingus. Se Bema water for barbe being as if Nini Cassetia. Some ray will hold the family values in if he be
or natural canal knowledge. And no is dealing with set or bar and friends, even Bema. It's not just about even the opposite sex.
Yes.
So where you are not able to establish on natural canal knowledge, where you fail to establish penetration, prosecution will be challenged.
Yes, so the law provides for it.
And now a case there has never been any prosecution of lesbian activities. Has there been any prosecution?
So lesbianism per se, say oba edenensa.
No, has there been any prosecution of lesbian?
Yes, but let me make this point. Let me make this point. Okay, our criminal jurisprudence or my you will be a friend of Wolfenden Committee report. Now Wolfenden Committee report they see UK and a penny be a friend of Wolfenden and no sir gay semi massive. In that report they made it clear say the law ends at the gate of your room. In Tiamraning, na de mayan a dem and they sank a found.
Okay. And you know, so Obi, any them. Now say, oh, yeah, improvised explosive device. Mas the law end at the gate.
But is it the improvised? So being who then it means that I go beyond.
Yes. So this argument, you know, I say, oh, there are two consenting adults. One with them and it is neither here nor there. Because the same principle of crime, no, must be transposed on all scenarios. So be sending them as be okun and no must the law end at the door of the person. So be sending them as be only aboa eda oni dem one. Must the law end at
so
the
obi there na say
so obi need them na sabi or to abofra mo na and also must the law end at the doorstep.
Akwala ne tie me betra doorstep.
And just akwala ntiem mo dia na ntiem mo pona so bi an
but reported there na say
yeah, absolutely. So that is where I'm coming from. But some brana kasam there is anachronistic. Yes, I check. At that time no krano na abrochiri ho krampo no na sa LGBT na just gay and homosexuals. Ni emeye LGBTQIA ATPP. All those emergent fluid dimensions. But this time no, we have various dimensions of that pervasive, practices. Imagine. So we need a more comprehensive law that would deal with it. And to me, by 2017 August, I was the first MP in the history of this parliament. From 92,
so that is the 7th parliament.
Yes, I was the first MP in the history of from the first to this parliament, 9th parliament. Yeah, me sorry, Ekasaye, Editia, Nyometisa. Speaker Okay at the time also supported it. Further to that, and as our conversation, 2021, many Sam George, Honorable Sam George, Honorable Bedra, Honorable Delasso, Honorable Helen Tonso, Honorable Rita Odole Sowa, and then Binimu Kanhua, the Cambo, a former bipartisan committee, this sponsor Human Sexual Rights and Ghanaian Family Values Bill, Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill. We had the strong support of the coalition. Lawyer Moses Fuamo and Ntim Fordjour, Speaker Bagbeng was very supportive. The entire 275 MPs at Tayachi, NDC, MPP in Kambo Mua, they passes our bill. But that bill, right from the beginning, suffered a lot of legal setbacks. Right from the conception, Nana Manford, a lot of lawsuits, the bombarded before we even moved to consultation, before we went to first reading, second and third reading. There was a lawsuit challenging the transmittance of the bill to the president.
Mekai.
And by the time Saki's was resolved, now the BCSA, the parliament was expiring.
Before we
so the bill could not be assented to.
Before we move from this stage, and I asked you a question you've not answered. Because I say, Mampeni Ekufuado. One sign a bill. And I make them say, because were you chastised by him? Because you are a minister?
Why would you say chastised by
fool?
Mr. Saying.
Say Adia, in one of his interviews, he mentioned that it is bound to happen. Provided same
you are going too far on that. But Nina say, right from the beginning, would say some me free. So if there was some pressure from anywhere, so can be gem.
Okay.
So I just say
there was no pressure from the president.
Master, I am telling you, sir. I when you be the swam make home, until you be a bit me I say free man as a man free. They make answer say.
But I want you to answer whether there was pressure from him.
Your question doesn't arise. No, it doesn't arise.
Was there pressure from the president?
I've told you there was no pressure.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. Until some boss will be a messenger, you are. But the president could not sign. There were so many reasons that accounted for it. But the minimum said the bill itself, there were a lot of legal setbacks. And to the passing ground, there was a bill that restrained the hand of Parliament from even transmitting it to the president. Well, you know, in this country.
I was in this country.
I travel, Supreme Court, By the time a Supreme Court, it did assembly be so. Be anywhere, a besi emrane kwan emrano emu emre bia so na demu krogene demu kan so abre na ye to abakra nwe ya ye prepare hand over. It was December something kwan to about.
So where is this what is the state of the
bill? And you know, it died with the 8th parliament. It's
now dead.
Yes, so it's dead. So it has to be revived. And yeah, by so me ane menua honorable Sam George, honorable Bejra, and honorable Rita Doleso, honorable Helen Tonso. And the union for Frobi so ababe ka ho. As I say, I had 10 member committee.
New ones, and they say, Obit Mama,
honorable Tampuli.
Honorable Tampuli is someone that George is in.
Yes, he's in.
Wow, yes. That is bold one for me. For Bonnie, so you
honorable Sam George signed it.
You Tampuli, Sam George,
honorable
Bedra.
Honorable
Bedra. That is whole West also.
Yes. And honorable Helen Tonso. Karachi West. And honorable Rita Odolesuwa.
Okay.
Ladade Kutopong.
Okay.
And honorable Hassan Tampuli. Honorable Mahama Tia Abdul Kabiru.
KB Mahama.
Yes, KB Mahama.
Okay.
And honorable Momuni Nuruddin, or MP for Nalirogo Gambaga.
Okay.
So and honorable Kwasefua. For also a Kahumbi.
Wow.
Honorable Anthony Mie Kahumbi, MP for Dotobri.
Okay.
So we are 10 members.
But my guy said now honorable Suhinim account. The last
one to the. And also one will be so.
We're free.
Also one will be so.
So one to
the.
Nana honorable that Fiamma Paul account. Past one.
And the also one will be so. Say me bought 10 now. Yeah, called.
But all the call more.
Obia yɛde ne hyɛ aseɛ bia no bia ni hɔ a yɛfunu ne mu sɛ ɔte no ne yɛde kɔ nti no wohyia
ɔma yi ɔmo ho afiri
ana wohyia wɔ mu ana ebisa wɔ mu ande nti
ba wode kɔ asɛm bɛ na ɔmo ka kyerɛ wo
ana wohyia wɔ mu ana ansa wohyia wɔ na afofo wobɛtumi ebisa wɔ mu ɔmo din nim and ɔmo din wɔ mu ɛna ma abobɔ no so honorable Sam George ayade nipa de
he must be commended for that
me no bra na me party wo power. And I'm a deputy minister. There's a lot of boldness. They make us what you say. So one by what power. Now sounds a minister. Now what do one kwakura be at the same. So what you say. And you know, or no sabrand nana by any power. Nana by power. Now still now. When you went free.
Is there a
cabinet minister?
Is that
and now honorable the Rita Odoles was also deputy minister. Also didn't know and Honorable Bedra, he's a senior member of this government. Honorable Helen Ntom, senior member of parliament of this government. No one in our sign Edna or one name follow their principle. No more sign. I have a lot of respect for them.
So you have reintroduced it?
Yes, we have reintroduced it. So no crown away.
So where is the stage of it?
I no crown away.
Yes.
Osha.
Okay.
Speaker crown.
I
refer the legislative drafting committee no more ye ho adwuma tantama o speaker ba ben wa ade pa clerk no ntino o mo ye ho adwuma ya draft to be bia there's a memorandum that is the attached bill there's some bia the same thing now
the same
pass here na
matama san ade aba
and asan ye de
mo ko ma nwin bibi foforo ho
o da bi say ade a survival plethora of legal battles there. Also, some baby, you make it vulnerable for new legal battles. So
we should expect 20 sessions.
Oh yeah, so because it traveled all the way to Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court ebu yebim. And you know, it is safe to maintain the same thing because a court to be the same judgment. Of course, some sanyoma be and no na ebe introduce you new elemental legal vulnerabilities in the So it is expected that we because this form here, Abbey, it is going to be gazetted. And when it's gazetted, then it will be laid. After a certain number of days, as per the gazetting, a mature report, nearly speaker will refer to the Committee on Private Members Bill. And then they will also work around it. And then from there, it goes into constitutional legal. And then the sponsors will be invited. They will go through the various consultations with the National House of Chiefs, and memoranda will be received, invited from the general public. And then we'll go on and on. Then to the first consideration, second consideration, and the third consideration. And then we're done. We pass it.
My only difficulty here is that the President of the Republic, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, has made it clear, say, Munjaina State, in fact, as a project and do. So why are you doing this?
Has anybody stopped the president from bringing it?
But what you are doing is telling him somebody to try.
See, ukase in Jairo. So we Obi akwakoto Attorney General Nepunu.
Obi
akwato Marietta Brew upon the legal counsel to the president. But has anybody locked her office?
The way be achieve the same.
No, dear me, has it locked their offices?
I'm not saying
has it locked their apprentices.
But who saw the bill?
No, Alampine. Stop.
Honorable way to
let us be truthful to ourselves. Has the government brought any bill?
But the point is, what you are doing,
has the government brought any bill?
They've not brought it.
Or they buy it almost bill now they are the private members be about no hear the same thing in a block. What's in the penny? So how does it stay in the hands? Is this a court order? Is this private members bill a court order?
No.
Yes. And so on those will be the bar. And on family.
My point is, I'm a government. May a Attorney General need to act on behalf of the president.
Yes.
May the idea beba. Na obi ye bibi nebe achieve the same purpose. Me de bano. I'm coming on the back of the public purse. Me the omani sika neba be ye printing ifa also ye. Nti sanka wo jai na me ye ya. We would have achieved.
But you are wrong. You are wrong in that logic, because say ye bibi and see omo kan so mo so be ye.
It will be double work.
No, it's not double. It's not double. So omo ye at the back. And the reason why the president is saying so, I say state sponsored, no. And then state sponsored in the day bar, different from this same bill or no President Mahama, brand or candidate. We read the bill we or cancel of Waso, and no president and Ntim Fordjour sign.
Thank you. No, but
oh yes. We as a speaker, as a parliament, we have sent it to the Attorney General.
But you've not met him as a president.
No, but why should I? Have I been invited by the president that he wants to discuss the bill with me?
But it's not a matter of he inviting you.
No.
You are.
No,
what interest are we?
No. Let me tell you. Maybe the role of a member of parliament is Hey, now member of parliament, men president. Parliament is an independent institution. Your constitution also my own quan say you are able to make private members bill. And as a legislator, no, and you mean as a make president to walk upon a child, say me baby we now here be na if the president wants to legislate, maybe me input. That's what frame here. I will go and we'll discuss. Now will be a buano. But me as a member of parliament, I have my right, constitutional right, to pursue my bill without prejudice or recourse to the presidency. And when I had the abano, so I'm also be before Frobi at the bar no fee say a year more superior than any private members bill now. Maybe I'm saying quite or on family. So the bar near the 2 way home. Nasa no crampo dimusin way. Common sense will tell us, oh, yeah, my way, no. And yeah, because even the purpose we want to achieve, no, the or no state sponsor the abano, are more superior. And also, it even comes to augment on this, so we can even have the two go through. We have had several laws I pass here, like this one. It's in reference to a Criminal and Other Offences Act 1960. Maybe what? But does it mean that this will come and repeal it? No. And the fact that this bill is coming to introduce matters related to Criminal and Other Offences Act and repealing on, it comes to complement it It comes to augment on it. Imagine the same way a pass away we now sign we or sent it to that's what person whatever for crowd ban. Ultimately, they also become way one, which may not necessarily repeal this, but it comes to augment it. Into the number one selling point. But I'm telling you that President Mahama will never sponsor any anti-LGBT.
But you can't say that.
He will mark my words.
You can't say that.
Mark my words.
You can't say that.
I am telling you.
You can't say that.
President Mahama will never sponsor any anti-LGBT.
Mimbusa question.
Mr. Fasan.
Mimbusa question. I know the minimum. I can't. I want to walk away.
What the me boy?
But I'm trying to say maybe.
So this is all we have. President Mahama will never sponsor any bill. This is all we have. So we will make sure we pursue to the end. If we know for frown farmer, but I'm telling you, he won't bring anything.
My question be, I know the last question that we bring our conversation to the end. Fana say you need be sing south. Nyame mfasama. Now who here says oh come and penny, why would you say that you not go to him?
Oh, then sir, no dear, sir.
So why don't you take this to him?
No, but this is a different matter. What they make say. Yes, as sir, there's a committee I serve on. Human rights.
Okay.
And that committee, and as part of our programs, the name of Mampeni out as well. President Mahama, I will see him. We will meet him. Bibi na se bia mahemfo e wa sense oh ye nko invite President Mahama emra emancipation and as emra afase bi na ade a medi wo manim akọ president anim akọ me na onyaka esia chia me de ni de ebuo the man of congratulate no yesre last oba parliament o hwe video na pictures a odu oba me ho be chia me me kasa ma me so me and congratulations. There's no bad blood between us. But I'm just saying that in respect of this, as a procedure, it is not done, say, as a member of parliament. Now we'll pursue, friends saying, so we the first one, Mayor. I even do President Akufo-Addo is my own president. I didn't take it to him, the President Akufo-Addo. And I made sure, and then Babet the young person, because after all, you know, that's why I miss a minute. Until I said, me dear question and said, unsolicited, no, that's not how you do things. And you know, the same principle, no, mean to me, sorry, as a many President Mahama book appointment, make one President Mahama, or who sabe way, yes, Sandy Akubu, they don't babishia, it's not proper. On any other matter, beyond, I can live in the size of Mekwa or he's my president. Or I'm a president. Yes, and to meet me, I can anytime. Yes. Okay,
right. Honorable Ebeda was I think say Yajo, thank you so much for being with us. And we are hoping say anytime any security matter be abebano as a ranking about now, so you would also grant us the audience.
In containers no na why you read drone.
There be said no
I want to buy a ambulance flight.
Thank you very much. No, that you
must also take interest.
Sure. We will publicize it and talk about it.
You are a high flying up and coming guru in the fourth estate. So I just say.
Sure.
Even though journalism is not your primary, a band media more, you are a giant. So take interest in this matter.
Thank you so much. This has been the Law Lab, proudly sponsored by Life Meat Furniture Company Limited. Yadamase Yakram.